How's it hanging, fellas? I'm OrosZ, and this is another episode of Half-Life 2, and in today's episode we're in the, I don't know where the fuck are we. So last episode we got out of the prison area and we went into this like weird combine world. We're still in the prison, it seems. But we were in this prison, and then we were in like this weird looking... And then we were in like this weird looking fucking combine facility, and now it seems like we went back into the prison. And I remember this part of the game. There's a bunch of like moments where you have to defend yourself against hordes of combine soldiers, and you have to use turrets. And you know what I realized? I realized that... Shut up, fucking email. Bullshit. Go fuck off. The Steve the Headcrab fanfic. Since this is the 4th episode I'm recording in a row, I ran out of things to say. I touched upon every topic I fucking had to touch upon. Maybe I'll should continue reading the fanfic. Steve the Headcrab, Chapter 5. I'm finally home and everything's just like I remember it. The light breeze bringing in a salty smell, the distant sound of waves, the feel of sand beneath... Wait, sand? Steve opened his eyes to see... Oh wait, this is... I don't remember what we left on in this fanfic, but I think what happened... At the beginning of the game there's a moment where Lamar gets... you teleport with Lamar into like a desert, and then Lamar leaves you and runs off. So Lamar's free. So I think this is what happened. Steve opened his eyes to see that he was not in fact on his home planet of Xen, but on a beach. Turning around, he saw the emotionless visage of Gordon Freeman, which disappeared in a flash of light. Steve continued staring at the spot where Gordon once stood, slowly processing what just happened. There's a lot of S's, and I have a thing with pronouncing S's, really weird. You know, there's like a lot of S's in a sentence, it just gets like and shit, kinda pisses me off. Slowly processing what just happened, he recounted the day's event, trying to find out what went wrong. Okay, waiting until the teleporter was completed, check, confirming it's safe, check, rerouting the teleporter to Xen, check. Steve looked at the ground as he finally realized his mistake. He was so frustrated at being trapped in this storage room, plus the little scruffle with Barney, that he forgot the most important step of his plan. Instead of being back on Xen, he almost certainly doomed himself, stranded miles away from any sort of civilization. He felt compelled to scream to the heavens, and that's what one does in these situations, but nothing dejected, depressed, and in a dismay he could only utter a simple, "God damn it." Steve slowly walked along the beach with only the occasional bird to keep him company. The sound of the sea would normally be calming to some, but not to him. It was just a reminder of his failure. It even felt like the seagulls were laughing at him. Though Steve doubted they had such intelligence, he wasn't sure how long he had been walking. And his feet were killing him. While he was kind of sure how long he'd been walking, since the sun was just beginning to set, he saw nowhere that could be used for shelter, so he had no choice but to keep going. How long is this chapter? Quite long, actually. He suddenly keep going. He suddenly froze. However, when he heard rumbling beneath him, before he could get away, the sand around him erupted as several creatures emerged from the underground. After the sand cleared, as he saw what looked to be several giant insects. They had 4 legs, no eyes, and 3 sharp teeth. Steve was nearly paralyzed with fear, but knew he was a good enough jumper to get away from them. "Hey, look over there," Steve yelled, pointing away from himself, hoping the creatures would fall for this simple trick. Oh wait, no eyes, crap. Steve jumped on top of one and leaped away, beginning his escape. "See you never, stupid bugs," he taunted, looking behind him as he kept leaping towards freedom. His heart nearly skipped a beat as he saw some of them jump after him. My eyes fucking hurt, man. And they were catching up quickly. Even worse, some of them sprouted wings from their bodies and began flying towards him. The soreness of his legs were getting to him, but he tried to ignore... Oh, that's Steve the Headcrab. Oh, he's dead. Too bad. That's the end of the fanfic. He gets shot with a shotgun. Blah blah blah. His escape as soon as he halted as 2 of the insects landed in front of him. and he heard the sound of the buzzing wings behind him get closer. As they surrounded him once again, Steve closed his eyes and awaited the inevitable. No, I can't die here, Steve thought. I waited so long for the chance to get home, and I'm not going to give up just yet. But I can't get away from those things. What do I do? As if giving him an answer, Steve heard what sounded like a weapon firing along with the screeches of the insect. He slowly opened his eyes, fully expecting to see an image of an afterlife, but was surprised to see not only the same beach, but the corpses of the insects around him. He examined himself for wounds, but found that he was perfectly fine. Steve breathed a sigh of relief now that the crisis was over, but flinched as he heard more rumbling. But that was different. Looking towards the sound, he saw what looked like 3 long legs. Oh, it's one of those things. I forgot what they were called. So, looking towards the sound, he saw what looked like 3 long legs. He moved his gaze upwards to see something towering above him. Its body was oddly shaped, and attached to it was a gun? Steve continued staring at it. Did it save him, or was it about to finish him off? It felt like several minutes passed as he stared Death in the face until... Hey there, little dude, you okay down there? Steve did a double take. This intimidating, deadly being just called him little dude. He didn't see that one coming. Yeah, me neither. Whoops, hold on a second. Can't hear you from all the way up here. Let me fix that real quick. That being said, as it lowered itself all the way down to the ground, its legs folding to make it more compact. Alright, where were we? So you got a name, or do headcrabs no talk? I'm Steve. There was no way he could be able to hold up a normal conversation with that thing. It was too casual for a giant death machine. Who are you? What were those... No wait, that's Steve saying. What are you? What were those bugs? Where are we anyways? What? Whoa man, slow down, that's a lot. That's like way too many questions. I'm a Strider, that's what they were called. I was gonna call them Sentinels. The Striders. I'm a Strider, you can tell by my long legs. This guy definitely didn't skip leg day, am I right? And those gross bugs are antlions, or they used to be, I guess. That is a lot to take in all at once, Steve replied. Look, I got lost here from a teleporter incident, and I need to get anywhere but here fast. He nervously looked around, keeping a lookout for more of those antlion things. Hey, I got an idea. Hop on, Steve Meister, the Strider said, lowering its head even more so it rested on the sand. I don't really know where I'm going either, so let's be lost together, standing in number and all that jazz. Strength in number. Man, I can't fucking read. I'm sorry. I don't fucking read very often. Whoops. That's not what I meant to do. But it worked. This was it. This was Steve's ticket out of here. Whatever here was. At least he was still a bit confused about this Strider, but it was either it or the antlions. He leaped on top of the Strider's head and slowly raised back to its full height. Okay, let's get rolling, or moving, I guess. Wait, let's get striding, actually. That sounded kinda lame, never mind. Anyway, we're going now, so hang on tight, bro. Even though Steve was safe now, he still had a heavy heart. He screwed up his best chance at getting home, and it was difficult to think of a good backup plan. Where else would he find another teleporter? As the Strider began walking into the sunset, Steve had a bad feeling that his problems were just beginning. Blah blah blah. Now there's a funny comment from the writer. We have finally arrived at my area of zero writing experience. Compelling original dialogue. Oh no. Chapter 6. How much left of this video? I have most of it. I'm gonna go ahead and just read chapter 6. And at the last second I jumped at him. Then after a flash of light I was suddenly at the beach, and well, you know how it went from here. Steve recounted his tale to his new Strider friend as they... What's the Strider's name though? Is it Dave? Steve recounted his tale of his new Strider friend as they continued their journey. It was mostly silent throughout, with only a few and just letting Steve vent out about his troubles. That's rough, buddy, the Strider finally said, but hey, after all that, you're still alive, which is more than most headcrabs can say. As awful as his struggles were, Steve had to admit that his Strider had a point. Even though his plan to get home had failed, he was incredibly lucky to get even this far. He was spared from the wrath of Gordon Freeman and the military in Black Mesa, as well as the ensuing nuclear detonation wiping Black Mesa off the map. Did it blow up in a nuclear explosion? I don't remember that. Wiping it off the map. He endured his kidnapping by Kleiner, and he was rescued from the killer antlions just hours ago. As long as he kept trying, Steve knew that he would eventually get home. The how and when of that still indulged him. But at least now he had some time to relax and think about it. I nearly died a while ago too, so hey, we've got something in common there. Speaking of that, what is your story anyway? I don't know much about Striders, but you don't seem like you'd be the kind to hang around places like this. And I still never got to name your name either. I don't have a name. Huh? What do you mean? Steve had figured that the Strider was on Earth because of the Combine. What with their conquering and enslavement of the worlds, but he thought that at least it would have a name by now, though he could only assume so much about an alien species he'd never met before. You think I grew this gun? It's synthetic, my dude. The Combines created me. Sure, there are probably normal non-robot Striders out there somewhere, but all the ones on Earth are killing machines made by the men to stop out the enemies. Oh, those assassins begin with a small letter. What the fuck? Lower capital of the letter I meant. Fuck off. Shitty writing. I was being brought somewhere on one of their gunships, but I got shot down with me in it. I guess it cushioned my fall or something because I was totally fine. Steve began to realize how little he had actually paid attention to the Combine invasion. He had gotten tunnel vision trying to get home, and he had really noticed that he was going to and he hadn't really noticed what was going on around him. Earth had been drastically changed by the Combine, as well as the countless other worlds that they conquered. Had Xen also been taken over by them? Steve stopped himself as that thought. Surely Xen was fine. Everything would be fine. He just needed to focus on getting home. Returning from his daydreaming, he noticed that it had been a while since anyone had said it. The two of them enjoyed the comfortable silence between them, accompanied by the sound of the waves hitting the beach. Dave. Huh? I actually predicted his name. Huh, Dave? My name, I wanna be Dave, the Strider said. Steve burst out laughing at this. It had been a long time since he had a good laugh. Me too. Dave? What the hell kind of name is Dave? You could pick literally anything. That's what you chose to be your name? I mean, Dave is a fine name. Just the fact that he said Dave. I think David is one of the better names in the world. If your name's David, it's good for you. It's a good fucking name. I know mine isn't David. My name, I wanna be Dave. But, oh, look who's talking, Steve Johnson. Your name is generic as they... Yeah, just short of John Smith. Yeah, actually. Did your parents not like you or something? It's like your name was specifically chosen to be boring. Steve was no longer laughing. This had hit him a bit of sore spot for him. His name was generic and boring, and Steve would be the first to admit that. He had lost count of how many times he was made fun of because of his name when he was growing up, and even into his professional life. And in hindsight, it was very childish of him to do the same thing, same to his friend. His only friend in this awful place, in fact. Hey man, I'm really sorry, Steve mumbled. This whole thing has gotten me really stressed out, but that's not an excuse for me acting like that. If you want to be named Dave, you can be named Dave. Now that I think about it, you probably don't even know a lot of names to use for reference anyways. Can you forgive me? Steve grew nervous as Dave remained silent, taking in what he said. The last thing he wanted was to piss off the only guy keeping him alive at this point. Well, as long as you acknowledge that you did something wrong, then we're cool. Anyway, you were pretty quiet earlier, thinking of another plan to get home or something. Not really, but I should get back to that. Maybe I need to try another way of thinking. Hey, what's the thing called where you go along a path of similar words? You mean world association? You were it'll help? What the fuck are they talking about? Steve was a bit curious about the general knowledge Dave seemed to have. Maybe the Combine implanted their troops with a certain amount of intelligence. Again, he could only assume so much. That's worth a shot at least. So teleporter, where do I go from there? Teleporter, teleport. Dave began to tune Steve out, choosing not to correct him on how word association actually works. During their journey, Steve had done most of the talking. Dave didn't mind too much though. He enjoyed the company, even if Steve tended to ramble and mumble a lot. The little guy was under a lot of stress, so it was understandable. He also figured that the Steve just wanted someone to talk to. From the sound of his story, the headcrab was in sore need of a friend. Whether Dave would be willing to be that friend though, that took some time to decide. Portal gun, aperture science. That's it. He had struck gold. From his time at Kleiner, he had learned that Black Mesa's rival, Aperture Science, was working on various kind of portal technology. If anything could get him home, it would be found there. Oh, so now it's a portal fanfic too? Oh, is there gonna be a turret friend named Bob? Swear to God if it's gonna be the case. Nice, sounds like you got your answer. So where is this aperture place anyway? I think it was somewhere in Michigan, something to do with salt mines. Dave's pace noticeably slowed, and Steve could tell something was up. What did he say that had such an effect on him? And why? Steve began worrying. This would be the second time he'd said something stupid to Dave. He hoped that Dave didn't run on free strike system or something, otherwise he'd need to find another way home. Luckily, he didn't have to wait much longer for a response. Speaking of free strikes in Austin Powers 2, you know, Mustafa had the funny thing going on where he wouldn't tell you anything unless you asked him 3 times. And then they started discussing that later, did Austin ask him 3 times, or did he took too long of a break and it all reset and shit like that? I don't know. When I say it, nothing sounds funny, but it was funny in the movie. You know that, like, in America, right? Wait, what? Huh? It's a completely different continent, bro, unless you can... Oh yeah, because they're in Europe. And Russia, right? It's only a completely different continent, bro, unless you can steal a carbon gunship or swim really fast. You aren't getting to Michigan anytime soon. And don't ask me how to get there either. You see these spindly legs? The best I could do is walk along the ocean floor, but we couldn't keep that up for long. Wait, did I even need to breathe? No, I hadn't really considered that. Well, either way you can breathe underwater, so it's looking like you need to make a plan to get to your other plan. Steve had several colorful 4-letter words floating around his head, but once again he couldn't convey his full frustration. It was one thing after another. His original plan was so perfect that he screwed it all up at the last second. Everything afterwards had been a disaster, and this was just the latest disappointment. Of course, he wasn't in America anymore. He heard it countless times since being relocated to City 17. Coming to think of it, Steve wasn't too sure where exactly City 17 was on this continent, but that was really important right now. Steve continued to stew in his troubles until Dave spoke up again. Oh hey Steve, you may want to take a look at this. Steve turned his gaze to the horizon where he saw a very distant but distinct shape forming. Ever since the start of their travels, they had been wandering onwards without any kind of direction or destination, but now they found the perfect landmark, the Citadel. Chapter 7, blah blah blah. It's so timeless. It's a long ass motherfucking chapter. Whatever. I'm gonna continue. There's 2 more chapters of the story. I'm gonna continue reading this some other time. We still have a lot of episodes. This is episode what? Episode 14. So I still have a bunch more episodes. Oh brother, I still didn't get my new headphones. I was meant to get those like a month ago already. And I still didn't. I still ain't got my money back. That's what happens when you're trying to be nice and lend money to people. You know? And every time someone asks me to lend money to them, I say, no fucking way, cause you ain't giving it back in time, and then I end up having problems because of that. Like, for example, the fact that I really wanted to get the fucking headphones, and now they're not, and now they're fucking more expensive than they were before. And I end up fucking lending them money anyway. And they don't give it back. I wonder how much money people owe me, actually. Or how much money I owe people. You know, I complain about people fucking borrowing money from me and not giving it back. Maybe I fucking borrowed some money. I mean, I don't remember ever borrowing money. But maybe I did. Fucking turret right there. Just fall over, you stupid turret, Jesus. Such a hard fucking physics problem. I really like the reload animation for this gun. Looks so cool. It looks really fucking cool. You know what would have looked cool if I actually get shadows to work again instead of instead I just went through this location with no shadows. Whatever. Who the fuck cares? I don't. Or do I? I heard the reason Pornhub lost all those videos because they took down all the SFM animations. That can't be it. Are you fucking telling me that most of Pornhub's was SFM animations? I heard what they did is they just simply like they had to check all those videos whether the people in them are definitely of age. You know, just so they accidentally don't have like a video of, I don't know, a 16-year-old getting fucked in the ass or whatever.
My guess is there's a bunch more soldiers heading your way. Quick, search the room. There should be some combine turrets.
Now I think about it, I wonder if I ever fucking seen one of those by accident. And Overwatch 2 is supposedly coming out this year. So is it gonna be the TF2?
I can reprogram these turrets to attack the enemy.
Is Blizzard trying to copy Valve? Like, oh, let's first make Overwatch, and then let's make Overwatch 2. And that's gonna be the one where we're gonna keep updating it, and it's never gonna die. You know what? I genuinely think kept TF2 alive. The fact that there's so many memes with it, it's keep being relevant to people's mind. So that's kind of a thing that keeps it alive, I think. You know what's another funny thing about this year? The first major meme, I think, was the Lamar roasts Franklin meme. And I really like it because, well, it's from a GTA. So it was only inevitable that that we're gonna get another GTA meme. And the joke with it is you have to actually get into the game and mod Lamar model into something else. So it's like a bunch of different characters that are roasting Franklin. So you know, it's like Lamar, there's a bunch of Lamars, there's fucking different characters and stuff like that. And I think it's like a higher effort meme where you actually have to own the game and shit. You can't just like, I don't know, it's like a picture and you can just put words on it. Like a low effort meme. It's kind of cool because everyone's like, you know, is gonna try to one up each other with that meme. So instead of this meme getting more shitty and garbage as it goes along, it's gonna get more higher effort actually. So this is the moment I was talking about where you put these two turrets and you just have to defend your position for long enough. I think it's pretty annoying actually. The problem with it is that these guys have grenades. So you have to reset the turret positions. And it is kind of annoying to go through this area. I didn't like it particularly. I would have liked if GTA 3 ever had like a meme. Maybe like Claude being silent. I seen a Claude roast Franklin and it's just like him not saying anything. You know how iconic it is that Gordon Freeman is a pretty iconic video game character, right? And he's known for the fact that he's very silent, he doesn't say anything. Silent protagonist. I always felt like, man, but like Claude, I think, is very underrated in that term. Because like all the other GTA characters are also pretty iconic. Tommy Vercetti, CJ, Michael Trevor Franklin. But then Claude, nobody cares about Claude. And I think he's one of my favorites because he's just so fucking... What I like about Claude is that he's kind of like unpredictable. You don't fucking know what he's thinking about these people. You don't know like, who he likes and who he doesn't. In GTA 5, Trevor is like crazy, but you kind of know that, oh, because someone upset him, he's gonna kill him now. But with Claude, you don't know, like, is he upset now, or is he gonna kill those people, is he not? He also seems to have, like, no alliances. He just works for anybody that fucking benefits him. And as soon as he gets the opportunity, he's willing to betray them. He's kind of an asshole in that department. And I also liked his design always, the leather jacket and like his cargo pants. His cool spiky hair. I seen some like artist, like a 3D artist, trying to like do these 3D GTA era. Jesus Christ. It scared me.
Sorry it took me so long.
He was like remodeling them for like a higher quality, as if these games were made today. I actually recently saw like I don't know, I fucking forgot the name, I'm sorry, but I was watching someone's video of like top 10 San Andreas missions, and it was like a small channel, and in the comments I actually got into like a discussion with that person who made the video. I mean discussion, I just told him that what I wish San Andreas did was like more shorter missions, because if you don't remember my let's play of San Andreas, my problem with it was that I would die at the end of the mission for like some dumb bullshit reason, and I would have to do it all over again. Shooter, come on.
You have to let Eli come around on his own.
I have known Dr. Vance far longer than you.
I wanted this thing to fall over and just didn't. Video's about to end.
It's a simple truth that when Eli believes
This is not open to debate, Dr. Moss.
So, Mothman, kind of girlfriend of Dr. Eli, is a traitor. And I don't really give a shit, so see you fellas in the next episode, bye.
Go on ahead. I'll disrupt the next level of security and catch up with you when I can.